right, we're going to invite singer-songwriter Ben Evans here to serenade you with some original music. I looked at some of his music online, and he's a friend of the Sangha and has come to some of our retreats. And he's very talented and sings from the heart. So we wanted to invite him to come and sing a few songs for you today. It'll just take him a few minutes to set up, and then we'll give the stage to Ben Evans. Please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. I really want to welcome all of you and invite you into some unfamiliar territory, maybe. We had the chorus singing all these songs that are so familiar to all of us, and they had me going. I mean, everything from Let It Be to, Lean on Me. And I'm going to invite you now to take a little trip with me into some songs that you probably haven't heard before. And so these are songs that I write because I have to. And so I really, really appreciate your being here and your willingness to hear these. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I never know what I'm going to do. And I like it that way. So, however, I do want to say that I'm very, very thankful for the teaching that Khenpo Namchak just gave. To carry happiness and sadness like horns on the head. And to realize that everything that comes has to go. And then to work to realize that there is something that doesn't come and doesn't go. And certainly when I'm writing and performing, that's what I'm trying to express. That's what I'm trying to be thankful for. That's what I'm trying to celebrate and trying to practice. And I also want to thank Khenpo Namchak, Tulku Songnak, and this whole Garden of 1,000 Buddhas for what it's doing for the world and for the endless universe we live in. We had a chance, Ani Zamba, there's a teacher named Ani Zamba, Anizamba, and I had a chance to be with her for a month. And this place and Khenpo Namchak and Lama Tsomo and so many others welcomed her here for a Tara practice. Now she's back in Brazil. Some folks have asked about her life. She's an amazing person. And it was so wonderful for her. She was very thankful to have been here. A few people asked about her. Her life story is on YouTube, if anybody's curious. And I want to honor her today also as we honor this place. A Bodhisattva who had been practicing Tibetan Buddhism, probably one of the first 3 Caucasian women from the Western Hemisphere. She traveled to India in the late 60s and lived a year with Mother Teresa, met lots of different Hindu teachers, and finally ended up becoming a nun with the influence of Lama Yeshe and Lama Zopa. And then she took teachings from Dudjom Rinpoche, she took teachings from Dugul Khyentse Rinpoche, she received ordination in South Korean Zen and in Chinese Zen or Chinese Buddhism, and her teachers became later. Her teacher was Chinli Norbu Rinpoche, Dudjom Rinpoche's son, and also Chagdud Rinpoche, and so many teachers. And she was able to come here for a month and share her teachings, and she was welcomed here. So because of that welcome, I really want to honor this place, and also for the practices that this organization puts on throughout the year. So thank you very much for entertaining an original songwriter. And please join me for a thank you to the incredible choir, and especially the original song of Deb and who is it? The drummer. Anyway, awesome songs. Fantastic. This song is called First Things First, and it's about when you're feeling the presence of the negative emotions that we all feel, and the causes of those, and you are trying to figure out what you're going to do about that. And you've been given practices by spiritual friends, and they may be native friends, indigenous friends, they may be Tibetan friends, they may be any kind of friend, teacher who has ever given you any way to authentically deal with negative emotions and the causes of negative emotions. So this is called First Things First, and it just is singing out the songwriter, the singer, who may or may not be me, is reminding himself or herself that to put first things first means to put the spiritual practice first, and to put the teachings first, and to give yourself. We all want to give ourselves. So when you're feeling jealousy, or when you're feeling anger, or when you're feeling confusion, or when you're feeling fear, or when you are feeling any negative emotion, remember that it's natural to want to give your whole self to something, and then ask, what am I going to give myself to? Who am I going to give myself to? And then this is when you can say, well, first things first. Give yourself to the source of yourself. Give yourself to the nature of mind. Give yourself to the service and devotion to your spiritual teacher. Today, and a bed for my head, and a roof for the rain, and I've got a rhyme that's helping me climb the walls that hide the truth. Air to breathe, it's all making me see what I owe you. First things first, in the beginning was the word. First things first, I'm gonna sing your name for what it's worth. I'm trained to trade cash for my heart beating. Need the most beautiful woman in the world to love me. I want her beautiful black blood pumped up from under her sand. But heaven turns and every star burns to break a heartless plan. First things first, from the ether came the earth. First things first, oh, word to the mother gave me birth. And sometimes the city hangs everything to keep itself high. But I can see a big change in the sky. Only love can get love organized. It's a lie when anything less tries. Only love can get love organized. You know it's a lie when anything less tries. You know it's first things first. You cry for gold, but you're made of dirt. First things first. Forgive the cold for what it's worth. I'm online all night in the pulsing blue light, and my mind is eating all my time and it's still not satisfied. Why don't I come? Why don't I run to you, my morning sun? I'm feeding back, I'm bleeding and cracked, I'm dividing. Or to try to be one. First things first. Build a blessing, break a curse. First things first. Sow water for soul thirst. First things first. From the ether came the earth. First things first. I'm singing your name until it hurts. You Thank you. I want to thank very much some of the support that I've had previous to coming up here, and very thankful to the Northern Arapaho Tribe, Eastern Shoshone Tribe, Nez Perce Tribe, and here Stephen Small Salmon, and all the tribal members around here, and all indigenous people of North, Central, and South America. We could say First Nation, we could say Native American, all the way. We all need to learn as much as we can from this kind of a gathering, because there are people here such as Namchak Khenpo, Lama Tsomo, and so many other people who are ready, willing, and able to teach humanity how to reconnect with everything that is the environment. I also want to say, if you ever get a chance to go onto YouTube and see a movie called Elder Brothers Warning, this documentary film presenting the Kogi people, Kogi. The Kogi people have a message for all of us in this world, and they are an amazing people in northern Colombia, and I think very similar as all these spiritual masters are in their desire to teach people how to make a transition from a society that takes everything from nature and doesn't give much back to societies that give back. This wisdom is still here, and here it is at the Buddha Garden. It's fantastic. This song is called Nature of Mind, and it's a little bit of a kind of a little bit of a country rock type tune, and it's autobiographical, and it tells the story of my failed attempts at realizing mind essence and the nature of mind. So thank you for entertaining this tune. Well, I was born in a famous rodeo town where the cowboys dream on tribal ground. Aunt Grace said that kid could be a president. Well, anyway, he's got a light in his eye that might pay some rent. Now my first memory, I was riding through the mountain snow. Mom and Dad were drinking beer. Mom was singing Thunder Road. And her voice carried me out the window through the shadows and the pines, where a mountain soul made me lose the hold inside and give all I am away, away, away to the nature of the mind. Now the years rolled on, Mom and Dad stopped getting along. I knew one morning I'd wake up and they'd be long gone. My sister fell asleep, but I played the radio all night. Somehow Steve Miller singing Jungle Love made it all right. And a few months later, I met Mom's new boyfriend. He took me fishing up Hell's Canyon, got me drunk on gin. And all night I heard the Big Snake River hit the canyon walls. She was rolling proud and she showed me how to fall and give all I am away. Give it away, all away to the nature of the mind. Give all I am away, give it away, away to the nature of the mind. Oh, and I really want to know, where am I gonna go, and who is gonna show, just show me how. All these senses are done, the end has come. I'm going to meet the sun now. Oh, Dad went to work up north on the Great Pipeline. Mom, she got a job shaping first grade minds. And I was about to flunk out of junior high. What a cliche, he's bright, he just won't try. But my grades were high for my work as the class clown, 'cause I had to make the world laugh before it put me down. 'Cause I was hot-blooded sweet emotion, and love hurts. And I had to rock and roll all night. I had to burn and give all I am away. Away, away to the nature, sweet nature of mind. Give all I am away, give it away, away to the nature, nature of the mind. Give all I am away, away, away to the nature of the mind. Give all I am away, oh, give it away to the nature of the mind. Is Eric? Oh, there's Eric. Jason, can you come up here and play your drums? Oh, am I down? Okay, we'll do one more. Can you come up here and play drums to this tune? I know you can do it. And can we get Robbie to come up here and play his djembe real quick, like? Maybe. This one right here. Just pull it down. We're going to do one more. Thank you very much. Once again, I would like to say thank you. I would like to say thank you to the spiritual teachers of the world, the Tibetan spiritual teachers, the teachers from India, the teachers from Native America, the true spiritual teachers from all continents and all cultures, for bringing to the rest of humanity this beautiful practice in whatever ways they've learned in their cultures and practices. But it's all the same, this effort to realize the essence of all, this effort to realize the essence of all for the sake of helping all realize the essence of all. This song is called You're Living in It. And what the song is about is that we all the time, are living not only completely in this essence, but we are this essence. And so just the tiniest little remembrance of that can help us to understand that whenever we don't feel that we are completely together with this essence, we just have to remind ourselves, wait a minute, realize the truth. The truth is that this essence is all pervasive. Therefore, you are it. So this is called Living in It, and it kind of expresses the contradiction, the contradictory, the mysterious, ironic, and beautiful paradoxical nature of the nature of mind. Thank you to these awesome drummers here. It's not a goal, it's not a prize, it's not a deal outside your eyes, not a vacation place, not winning a race, not a nice break, not a claim to stake. You're living in it all around the clock. I hope the market swallows it. I want to make its heart stop. Ooh, yeah, yeah. It's not a miracle, it's not electric, not artificial, it's not a pet trick. It's not time off, it's not on TV. Not fast food, it's not a dream team. You are living in it. It's not up or down, not both, not neither. It's just around and around and around and around, on around. You look to the right, you look to the left, you look for the whole universe while heaven is pounding in your chest. It's not a holiday, it's not a national park, not on display, it's not light or dark. It's not against or for, not won or lost, not ever destroyed, not ever crossed. You're living in it, it's not possible, and it's unlimited and unstoppable. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not what's ahead, it's not the past. Not flying lead, it's not that fast. It's not a single thing, 2, 3, or 4. It's not nothing less, equal, or more. You are living in it. It's not a new frontier. It's not the want, not the wanted. Oh, it's not cloudy, and it's not clear. Not clear. Ooh, yeah. It's not what the head, it's not the past. Not flying lead, it's not that fast. It's not in a store, not dirty, not clean. It's not in a court, not even supreme. You are living in it. You can't make a sound. So brave, so afraid. You're rising off the ground. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Not trapped, not free, not open, not planned. It's not a single thing, 2, 3, or 4. It's not nothing less, equal, or more. You are living in it. It's not a new frontier, not the want, not the wanted. It's not cloudy, and it's not clear. It's not cloudy, and it's not clear. Thank you very much to Jason and Robbie percussion. Wow. Not rehearsed. Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Kyle, can he unplug his guitar? All right. We want to give a big shout out to Sound Creations or Montana Pro Audio for doing the live sound. They are always featured at the Caras Park events, and they always do an excellent job. For many years before they came on the scene, Jason and I and a few other Sangha members would put together all of our equipment and try to make a day like this work. And you can't understand exactly how relieved I am when I see them drive up every Peace Festival and do such a wonderful job with the sound. So give a hand of applause for the wonderful sound system and how clear and it projects so well. So thank you, Ben. Another round of applause, I hope, for Ben Evans coming and sharing his great music with us. we're going to have Lama Wangmo, our Awam Lama, come and give a little bit of an update about the progress, just a couple minutes of an update about the progress and what's new. Today we're celebrating completing the Buddha statues and the flowers and the trees, and kind of reaching some milestones in our progress as a community here. And we'd like her to come up today and give you a little bit of an update so that you can know what's coming in the future. What are we doing now, and how you can help and be involved. And then after that, we have a wonderful talk with Dr. Stephen Running on climate change, and he's quite famous from the university. We're really excited to have him come today, so I hope you'll stick around for that. And then later this afternoon, we also are going to have Jen Adams performing live music. So without further ado, please welcome Lama Wangmo.
Hello, welcome. It's nice to see some sunshine coming through today. And I'm here just to tell you a little bit about what is newly developing at the garden. As many of you know who have come back repeatedly over time, the garden as we see it now has been under development for about 15 years, actually. Tulku Sangak Rinpoche, our spiritual founder, had a dream one night of the central figure here and the spokes of Buddhas around it. And over a long period of time, through the efforts of many volunteers and through the generosity of many donors, it has developed. And at the Drupcha this year in June, Namchak Khenpo, who, as you know, is Rinpoche's brother and spiritual heir, and who is the guardian of the garden here. He's in residence about 6 months of the year. He has a lot of duties in Asia as well. But when he's here, he's the guardian of the garden. And Namchak Khenpo presented to Rinpoche in June the completed garden, the completed version of what Rinpoche had seen in his dream so many years ago, with the central Yomchenmo Great Mother statue, and with the 1,000 Buddhas that surround it, and the 1,000 stupas that surround them. And so, as we know in life, everything is always changing and growing. And it's always been interesting to me, having been at a number of other Dharma centers, that very often when a tract of land is donated, the spiritual founder will decide what's going to be done first. And I find it striking that at this center, what Tulku Sangak Rinpoche chose to do was to build a garden. He didn't build a building, he didn't build a structure, he built a garden where people could come and take refuge in whatever way they wished. Buddhist practitioners come here and take refuge in the teachings, and people come from all walks of life to take refuge in the physical beauty of the garden and in the spiritual energy which can be felt here. One of the things that I love seeing when I come back is the trees that are growing. And I live primarily in Santa Fe, which is Tulku Sangak Rinpoche's other main seat in the United States. And so I'm here about twice a year, and I get to see what keeps changing. And Rinpoche saw 1,000 Buddhas, and he saw 1,000 stupas, and he also saw 1,000 trees in the garden. And many trees, as you can see, have been planted, but they've been really little, and so you have to think about the fact that there are trees here. But now I'm really beginning to be able to see trees, and it's interesting to realize that in the future, when it comes to pass, as Rinpoche is predicting, that this is really going to be a pilgrimage site in the West for Tibetan Buddhism, that it's going to be a forest. It's going to be a garden under trees. And so that also is happening. So now this spring, when Rinpoche came and he had his usual discussions with Namchak Khenpo. He told us about what's going to be next. We began talking about this about a year ago, but in June this year, we broke ground for the first building that we will build. And so now that Rinpoche has built a garden, he's wanting to make an inside place for people to be able to gather and enjoy for a variety of reasons. It will make it possible for the Tibetan Buddhist practitioners who come here to have a beautiful place to practice inside. It will allow us to have retreats throughout the year, or only in the months when we can house and house practices otherwise. But just like the garden itself, it's envisioned as a place where people from all over the community, for whatever their personal reasons might be, can come and enjoy an inner space of the garden. This year, we hosted our first wedding at the garden. Someone asked if they could have a wedding, and it was very simple, and of course it was outside. And that's a beautiful thing that will probably continue to happen. But when we've built this building, it will be possible for people to reserve it, and it's going to have a large practice space, which will have a Tibetan Buddhist altar in it, but it's also going to have a lot of other things that can be cleared away so that people can use it for their own purposes. So it'll be available for weddings, it'll be available for family gatherings, for graduations, for whatever it is that people would like to be able to celebrate at the garden, and so that they can make a plan to do it regardless of what the weather is. And so this is the next phase of what's happening here, and what we're also beginning to do some fundraising for. You can ask one of us connected with the garden if you'd like to show you where it is. We actually broke ground for it, and in our wonderful Drupcha, which we had in June, which is a 7-day continual practice that we do, we did our first fundraising for that, and we raised $50,000, which was a good start. We're envisioning the building being about $1.5 million. And we have wonderful donations of various kinds being made. Jeremy Oury, who some of you may know, who is an architect in Hamilton, is completely donating his time as an architect in order to begin bringing this to pass. He has commenced doing some drawings, and he actually had some drawings for us in June. And when the Rinpoches went and looked at the land and stood on it, they decided that it needed to be bigger, which we actually had anticipated. So now a one-story building has become a two-story building. The upstairs will have quarters for lamas who come to teach, and also may be available for people to use. So anyway, we just wanted to let you know about this next phase. We're very excited about it. We see it as an offering of our Rinpoches and of our community to the community at large, just as the garden itself has been. And so if you'd like to know more about that, please be in touch with us. And we're just beginning to organize our fundraising efforts. But if this is something that you're moved to participate in by donating financially, please let us know that too. What you could do today would either be to speak to me, or you could go to whoever is running the inside version of the bookstore this afternoon, and your donation will be welcome. So we wanted to let you know that this is happening, and we thank all of you for coming and bringing your own energy to the garden today, and all the other times that you come and walk or sit or meditate here. And we'll look forward to seeing you again in the future, and to welcoming you one of these years very soon to tours of the inside space, which will be here, as well as the beautiful garden itself. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lama Wangmo. It's so great to have you here. Even though when she flew in last night and saw the smoke, it was probably a little bit alarming. We are going to invite Dr. Stephen Running. He is the Regents Professor of Ecology at the University of Montana and was chapter author of the 2007 IPCC committee that shared the Nobel Peace Prize. In 2012, he was awarded the Montana Environmental Information Center Conservationist of the Year. And today he's here to talk to us a little bit about climate change, something that's all on all of our minds. So please welcome Dr. Stephen Running.
Good afternoon. Well, after all this nice music, what I'm not going to do is give a climate lecture. And this is certainly a different sort of group than I would normally speak to. But I think what I've found is, as a climate scientist, is that we've spent 20, 30 years now measuring the Earth system quite carefully in many dimensions, but we find that simply gathering facts is not enough. And so what I realize now is the other part of my job is to motivate society to do something. And so while I've worked with my science colleagues for many years, we've measured this Earth in so many different ways, from the South Pole to the bottom of the ocean, measured the Amazon forests, measured our own glaciers of Glacier National Park. We measure the atmosphere. We measure so many different things, and we continue to see evidence of degradation of our biosphere on a global scale. And so, as Deborah said, we've written a number of major documents. We write thousands and thousands of papers, and so we've documented the science. And what we realize now is we have to get society as a whole to be motivated to start pushing for change. And I think that's why I come to events like this and talk to people like you, is beyond simply knowing the facts about how the Earth is changing, we all have to start pushing to make the kind of changes in the future that will literally save the planet. We clearly see, for example, that the world has to quit burning coal. We see that as our highest, literally our highest priority in climate change work, is clearly to us to quit burning coal for electric power worldwide. And so it's quite ironic that I was at the farmers market in Missoula just about 4 hours ago, and one of the vendors recognized me, and we were talking. He said 3 coal trains have gone through Missoula this morning alone. And it illustrates to me in a very local, real sense, the problem. As I ride my bike to the university every day, I go under an underpass of the train tracks, and probably 3 days out of 5, there goes a coal train. And those coal trains are primarily going to Asia, and I can't think of anything more irrational on a global sense to dig up something as dirty and cheap as coal and ship it 6,000 miles to Asia, where they burn it, and the carbon pollution comes back faster than the boats do. It literally comes back in the atmosphere faster than the empty boats come back to get more. And So I really come to an event like this to encourage people like you to get active in your community, and I hate to say it, get active politically, which is something I always resisted. We have to convince our political leaders that the status quo of energy in this country is not going to continue, and there's a lot of big money against us. In fact, all the big money of all the fossil fuel industry is all against us, every one of them. And so that's our adversary. And so we have to motivate society as a whole to say no in a very focused way to our political leaders. In the old days, you used to write letters to the editor of the newspaper. I don't know if anybody does that anymore. Maybe you write blog posts or something like that. But you really, all of us need to continue the pressure on our political and business leaders to start a change of course, or I hate to see what this garden's going to look like 100 years from now. This is really the sort of place that 100 years of climate change, it's not going to do very well in these arid mountain valleys of the West. And so in a quite literal sense, to save this place, to save this garden and the entire biosphere with it, all of us have to get to work on convincing our leaders that the change in our energy future is now time. Now I couldn't say this 2 years ago, but I'm actually seeing some promising news. As I watch every single day, I watch the international news events, and I'm seeing major economic powers like the World Bank state that they will not give loans for coal-fired plants anymore, for example. I'm seeing major investment houses like Goldman Sachs say that they're starting to withdraw all their funds from fossil fuel companies. I'm seeing major corporations, starting with, of course, the Googles and the Apples of the world, but even going to corporations like Walmart, which probably a lot of this crowd looks at rather dimly. Walmart is investing an unbelievable amount of money in solar panels on all their new stores, on high efficiency trucks for all their transport, and it's in a way it's sobering for somebody like me to admit, but what Walmart does probably matters more than anything else, because they influence so much of the world's economy. And so this is a challenge to all of us to engage with corporations like that, because they can make a lot of difference. And I'm seeing more and more that a number of them are. So I'm starting to really see some momentum finally coming in our direction. And I think I'll end with my most favorite and new bit of evidence in this is the Pope. And I'm no Catholic supporter normally, but it is quite unbelievable how pointed and open the Pope's encyclical on climate was in June. If you haven't read that, go Google it and read it. It's 192 pages of more hard science than I ever thought any Pope ever knew. And he has the science right, and he is out to motivate the Catholics of the world, all billion of them. And I think finally we have a religious leader that has very high profile and is really challenging not only his own religious followers, but I think our political leaders and all the rest of us, that it's time that the world start to turn away from fossil fuels and get to a renewable energy future. And so I never thought I would cheer for a pope so much as I've done in the last 3 months, but he is incredibly, he may be the single most influential climate policy maker in the whole world right now, believe it or not, because of how many people he can influence. You know, when he gave a talk in the Philippines 3 or 4 months ago, 10 million people showed up to hear him talk. Now, I didn't exactly draw 10 million people today, did I? And so that's the difference between me and the Pope. And but all kidding aside, all of us need to help, and we need to help by really encouraging, and more than encouraging, is really demanding from our political and civic leadership that the world's changing and the energy future has to change, and that you expect them to make that change in their policy. And so I really come to these kind of events to try to get all of us to start making our voices heard, because I think we're now starting to turn the corner, and hopefully 100 years from now this garden will be spectacular. The trees will be 100 feet tall, and it'll be a wonderful place for at least for our grandchildren. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Stephen Running, for coming, taking the time today to join us. So is everyone curious a little bit about, to my left, who might be over here under this canopy doing some graphic art? Give me a round of applause if you want to know what's going on over here. So Alex Alvear is with us today, and although I was saving an introduction for him later because he is going to speak, and he's a wonderful speaker, Namchak Khenpo had the privilege of seeing him speak at the TEDx talks in Arlee in May, and he was so dynamic, and I actually went to YouTube and saw some of his videos and was incredibly impressed with what he was saying and how he was saying it from the heart. But he also, as we started corresponding, found out that he does graphic facilitation. So today he's actually drawing and doing words and showing us what's happening today through the entire performance and through each speaker. So I don't want to interrupt his flow over here, but I'll let you know that I'll give you a little bit of his introduction later before he speaks. I hope you'll stick around because he will be speaking later in the day, hopefully unpacking a little bit of what he's been doing for us and talking a little bit about how taking care of small things also takes care of the big things. And so thank you, Alex Alvear, for being here today. Well, we have a few minutes of setup to go here, but we have a special musical guest today, Jen Adams. For those of you who do not know Jen Adams, that's totally appropriate. She's really one of a kind and a true, authentic musical performer. I've always been inspired by Jen because she can take any song and make it her own. It's not just cover songs, it becomes her own music. She sings totally from the heart and is able to weave stories. I do have some things to say. She does folk, she does blues, she does jazz, but she makes it all her own style. And what I like about it is she chooses very intimate, personal songs, sometimes very uplifting, sometimes very tragic, but always is able to put her own spin on it. And writes original music. She gets to perform with some duos, but she doesn't perform that often because actually she's so good that she doesn't have to. So we actually got her this year, and we're really happy. She has other endeavors too. Rooted Music, which what used to be the Music Box in Hamilton and is now the music store, but more than that, it's a nonprofit school of music. She's doing concerts, they're doing education. So really she's brought her talents, her energy, and her love of music to people in Hamilton and the Bitterroot Valley. And so if you haven't heard of Rooted Music, you can look them up online and get a little bit involved with the School of Music and what she's doing. It's a passion for her, and we're really inspired also to have her here today. She's going to do some bluesy, some ballads, different kinds of things, but she's really known for her warm, intimate live performances. So if you want to come up and sit on the carpet with us or stay there and really kind of meditate and enjoy with her, I urge you to sit and listen to her, because she's really one of a kind. So when she's ready, Jen Adams.
Hello! Hello, hello, hello! Hello, Arlie! Hello, Montana! Whew! Came up from Missoula where I couldn't breathe. I'm so happy there's air up here. Thank you all for doing that for us. Up somewhere who's... this song, but those dancers are having such a good time. All right, one more. We are stardust, we are golden, and we're caught in a devil's bargain, and we got to get ourselves back to the garden. I thought it'd be fun to start with a little Joni Mitchell. I love other people's music. I'm so bored of my own. I know you're not, damn it. I haven't put out a record since 2004. I know. I've been doing other things, like learning Neil Young tunes. Paradise that makes me think of two. Love lost such a cost. Give me things that don't get lost, like a coin that won't get tossed, rolling home to you. Lullabies look in my eyes, run around the same old town. Doesn't mean that much to me, to mean that much to you. Look at first and last, look at how the time goes past. But I'm all alone at last, rolling on to you. Tell that's true. What a beautiful day. This is my favorite time of the year. Coming up here for the Peace Festival. I know we have a theme of joy and all that stuff, but I don't know very many happy tunes. But I think this might be one. I think you're the best incandescent blue, all the best of all that is true. That's what I think when I think of you. Marvelous constellation spread out in my room, outrageously beautiful springtime bloom. That's what I think when I think of you. Who knows? Who cares where we go? We'll be spinning out into the big white blue. Oh, that's what I think when I think of you. Who knows and who cares where we go? We'll be spinning out into the big white blue. That's what I think when I think of you. Let's go down to the lake, point out all our mistakes while we laugh at a big round moon. That's what I think when I think of you. That's what I think when I think of you. That's what I think when I think about you. All right, that was the uplifting part of my set, so. All right, maybe one more. One more tune that's happy, but I always have to put those bluesy rhythms to them. Singing the blues for a blue sky, all my tears falling in the sunshine. Soon the stars will call in a perfect day. Breaking my heart, not a cloud in the sky. You're a part, river of tear to be cried. This isn't why on a perfect day. Go where you will, do what you must, and the winds of change will be kind to the both of us. I'll keep the fire burning bright. You remember my love tonight.
Thank you. Here's a little twisted up version of a song you'll all recognize. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary come to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she's standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Oh, let it be, speaking words of wisdom. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer. Let it be. Though they may be parted, still a chance they may see. There will be an answer. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. There will be an answer. When the night is dark and cloudy, still a light that shines on me, shining till tomorrow. Let it be. And I'll wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comforts me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Speaking words of wisdom. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. Speaking words of wisdom.
Thank you.
Does anybody remember Hoyt Axton? Yeah. I got the opportunity to play this song for him once. It was always my favorite Hoyt tune. Because it has puppies in the second verse. How could you go wrong with that? Well, I heard you had a little trouble, and I thought I'd try and help you. 'Cause in my time I've had a little trouble too. You know, if you let it get you down, oh, it will get you down. It'll get you down and walk around on you. She don't want no company. She's in a crowd. She's all alone. She does not care. She'll follow you anywhere. She is most happy when she makes you known. My dog had some puppies. Would you like to have one? He will be your friend. He will lick your face. He won't try to cheat you, and he won't try to beat you. Help you to be a winner in the human race. Sweet misery. She don't want no company. She's in a crowd. She's all alone. She does not care. She'll follow anywhere. She is most happy if she can make you moan. Well, I heard you're feeling better. Glad you found a little happy. In my time, I've had a little happy too. Yeah, if you let it get you up, oh, it'll get you up and walk around with you, sweet. Sweet misery don't want no company. She's in a crowd when she's all alone. But she does not care. She follow anywhere. She's most happy if she can make you moan. Something like that.
All right, well, somebody's gonna have to tell me when they want me to leave the stage, because I have no idea. They said something about 20, 30 minutes, and time is irrelevant when I have a guitar in my hand, so I'll need you all to help me out with that. Do I want to play that one? Uh-oh, there's the boss now. What do I got, boss? One more? Oh, I gotta make this count. Damn. What do we want? We want blues? Do we want rock? Do we want folk? My favorite? Ooh, that's a tough one. That's what I was gonna play. How'd you know that? Yeah. We'll do this one. Because it probably is my favorite. Child grown old. Dreams of lightning, thunder were desire. This old house would have burned down long time ago. Make me an angel flying from Montgomery. Make me a poster. This old rodeo, just give me one thing I can hold on to. Believe in this living is a hard way to go.
this old rodeo. Just give me one thing to hold on to, believe in this living is a hard way to go. Such a hard way to go. There's a fly in my kitchen. Can you hear him buzzing? I ain't done nothing since I woke today. Tell me how the hell could any person go to work in the morning, home in the evening, with nothing to say? Make me an angel flying from Montgomery. Make me a poster this old rodeo. Just give me one thing I can hold on to. I can hold on to. Believe in this living, such a hard way to go.
Thanks, Deb, for having me. Thanks to everybody who's here today. Peace is the answer. Ow!
Come on, one more for Jen Adams. Give it up. Did I lie? I mean, is she just not sublime? I could listen to her all day long. I know. Next time, more time, more time. Most of the performers are like, come on, I had to go too long, too long, too long. No, she wants to go, I can do more, more, more. So thanks, Jen Adams, for coming, always. All right, we're going to invite Raquel Castellanos up to give a little bit of information to you about what's going on with our fundraising efforts and update you on what's been going on. She's been helping us with fundraising for many, many years as a dear Sangha member, Dharma sister, and friend. So please welcome Raquel.
Right for the short person. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'm just so heartwarmed to see so many familiar faces out here today and that you all braved the smoke to come and join us for this 11th Annual Peace Festival. I'm going to start by reading a poem that, for many of you who've been around the area, you remember that in July of 2012, we had a full month of prayers and blessings and ceremonies in order to consecrate and bless this garden with our founder, Tulku Sanak Rinpoche, and with Namchak Khenpo and all of our lamas. So I want to read this poem that I wrote because this garden so inspired me. I don't consider myself really a poet or anything like that, but I thought I'd share this, and I think it shares and expresses the place that this garden holds in my heart. It's called This Garden of Peace. From the dream of my guru came this garden of peace, an offering of practice, this garden of peace. As statues were cast and carefully sanded, the dust in the air, as the mud in our minds, would eventually settle in this garden of peace. Many come seeking to this garden of peace. In lavender gardens, we pluck out the weeds. In watching our minds, we plant new seeds, the seeds that will grow in this garden of peace. We are the fortunate ones who come here to seek peace in the world through this garden of peace. From the compassionate heart of 1,000 Buddhas, all are blessed in this garden of peace. As we walk through this dream with a luminous glow, may all hearts continue to blossom and grow. May all beings find freedom and a garden of peace. And I wrote that, and when I wrote that, I said that this was written in honor of our precious teacher and founder of this garden, Tulku Sanak Rinpoche. Thank you for inspiring us with your dream, and I dedicated this poem to you and the liberation of all beings. And so I'm sharing this because this is a very special place for many of us, and the vision that Tulku Sanak had of this amazing garden and this gift that he's given to all of us, whether you're Buddhist, Native, or any other spiritual tradition, this was such a beautiful blessing and gift he's given us. So I'm here today to invite you to be a part of it. We have lots of opportunities for volunteering coming up and taking care of the beautiful flower gardens. We have volunteers. We have opportunities to volunteer in the gift store. And we have this beautiful Peace Festival every year, so we always need volunteers to help us with setup and takedown. And then we have these beautiful teachings that are offered by these amazing wisdom keepers. And so we invite you to really share in this, because that was our teacher's vision. His vision was that this wasn't just a garden for, Tibetan Buddhist practitioners. This garden was here for everyone to enjoy, to come up, to feel the peace of mind that he envisioned when he came up with this beautiful dream. So our fundraising efforts have gone very well. As you can see, we started out many, many years ago. 1999 was when I first met Rinpoche, and he had this beautiful vision. It's taken us quite a while to get here, but it's not just been the Buddhist community here that's made this happen. It's been all of the community here throughout Western Montana, and all the way even from far away. Even Bozeman folks have pitched in and given us funds to help us. Folks from Japan, folks from all over the world have sent donations in order to grow this beautiful monument, which is a place for peace. We have lots of monuments in this world celebrating war and other ways of being. There are very few places that hold this kind of space for peace. So we invite you to please get involved. We have an information booth, and at that information booth over here under it's the first tent, the first little beige tent there, we can take your email and send you information about different opportunities to get involved or come to teachings. We also are doing a raffle, so that helps raise money for this garden. Beautiful gift basket that's got $500 worth of beautiful items. So please, you can support the garden today by buying a raffle ticket. And then I've got these great friends and dear people who volunteered today, and they're going to come around with these donation baskets or donation boxes. Nicole appears holding one up, Johnny, and Lindsay. Thank you, you guys. So yeah, they'll just be coming around and inviting you to make an offering if you'd like to do that. So thank you again for coming out. We're really thrilled that you braved the smoke and that you've joined us today. Thanks so much.
We're going to invite Dr. David Moore from the University of Montana to come and join us on the stage today. He is a professor at the English department at the U of M. And you're probably thinking, well, why do we have an English professor talking today? Well, he's also incredibly versed. He teaches Native American literature and American studies. And we've asked him to come today to speak on intercultural relations, as he is really well versed in peace studies, literature, and the environment. So please welcome Dr. David Moore.
Testing. Is that going to work? Thank you so much, Deborah. And I'm so grateful to be here to have a chance to talk about, I think, what I'll call the joy of intercultural relations, combining the fundamental theme of the afternoon with this intercultural relations challenge, really. And I'm grateful especially to Deborah and Alma and others who invited me here. And isn't it remarkable what Alex is doing over there? I'm just amazed at the dimension that provides, something artistic and permanent, may I say. Our words are going out into this beautiful valley, carried on the smoke, and I have thoughts and poems and a prayer to share about intercultural relations and joy, and I feel like this crowd is so enlightened in these very topics that I hope you'll just join me for a little while in thinking about some of these things. And I'm grateful also to be following Steve Running, who's in the back. I've been part of conversations with him in the Institute of Ecology that he's launched on the very question, as he focused on motivating people who are aware of the issues or maybe less aware, but that motivation power is the real challenge. And may I say, I could listen to Jen Adams all afternoon, and I'm sorry the music just can't keep going, because that's perhaps the most motivating power. And whatever words we can add to that are part of the picture. But this power of arts and music, I think really is something that a scientist like Steve Running is alert to in terms of the politics of changing the paradigm. And I'm grateful to be part of that conversation. Let me start with just a few thoughts on joy. And again, I'm sure these are all familiar to you. As a literature and language person, I, of course, looked up the etymology, the root of the word joy. And guess what the root of the word joy is? Joy. Joy comes from joy in our language. It goes all the way back to Persian, perhaps Indo-European, Old Greek, Latin, eventually Old Irish. But joy is a primary quality, even in the language structure that we use, and has been spoken in that very sound of joy for millennia. And I'd like to suggest, as so many of us have read from the great teachers of the world's religions, that this is the primary reality that we're returning to. I love that Jen started with return to the garden. That's where the joy sprouts, and it's in our hearts and it's in our being. There's a poem from Thich Nhat Hanh that I'd like to share part of with you, not the entire thing. But Please Call Me by My Names puts this primary joy into a lovely, and we could say full context. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom in all walks of life. My pain is like a river of tears, so full it fills up the four oceans. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my cries and my laughs at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so I can wake up, and so the door of my heart can be left open, the door of compassion. Thich Nhat Hanh. And I'll just jump ahead to say that this open door, I think, of compassion in the heart is really at the heart of intercultural relations. Indeed, we all have this sense that joy is like flight. It's a kind of opening. It's a kind of open door. There are different metaphors for that. But that means that the joys that we carry are somehow a release from pain, as the poem suggests. And there's always that balancing and something more fundamental in between the two. Let me move towards intercultural relations with those thoughts of joy, towards what is the primary limit of our lack of joy, and that what causes us the most pain. There's a really resonant phrase by Abdul Baha of the Baha'i faith. He says the only prison is the prison of self. And indeed, whatever situations we may find ourselves in, it's ultimately that self-imposed prison that is limiting our joy. And we have to get out of that prison to find a connection with others, of course. And those principles of primary spiritual internal overcoming of self, of course, are then pushed, as Steve very helpfully reminded us, into politics, a whole world of climate and economics. And let me just call that the last 500 years of colonial capitalism. And in the amazing strength of indigenous cultures, such as the Salish and Kootenai here on this very reservation and this land that we're grateful for. In those cultures, they're still strong, and they're still teaching us how to move beyond these 500 years of political oppression and economic and climatic devastation. Let me read a wonderful phrase by Luther's standing bearer of the Lakota around the turn of the 20th century. Kinship with all creatures of the earth, sky and water, was a real and active principle, and I'd like to put it in the present tense. In the animal and bird world, there existed a brotherly feeling that kept the Lakota safe among them. And so close did some of the Lakotas come to their feathered and furred friends that in true brotherhood they spoke a common language, a common tongue. This concept of life and its relations was humanizing and gave to the Lakota an abiding love. It filled his being with the joy and mystery of living. It gave him reverence for all life. It made a place for all things in the scheme of existence, with equal importance to all. So, of course, when we're talking about intercultural relations and we're moving beyond our pain into the joy that we share together, that we already are, it means a place in the scheme of existence for each one of us. And, you know, that's a cosmic and eloquent indigenous expression of the basic oneness that everyone on this stage has been talking about all day. But I'd like to push that to the challenges of intercultural relations that are when real difference comes into play. When people come from such different backgrounds, when they speak different languages, what do you do in that world of difference? And indeed, it is, I'll say, the challenge of the modern world as the colonial history and the intercommerce of the last 500 years has brought all these differences into confrontation with each other. How do you deal with those differences out of a place of joy and self-affirmation and mutual affirmation? And I think that's a place where the motivating vision needs to turn in this country, where community is seen as being the same, where e pluribus unum, that great American motto, is seen as unum without the pluribus. It's seen as oneness without difference. And one of the finest articulations I've heard is from a Haudenosaunee or Iroquois philosopher, a woman named Vera Palmer, who now teaches at Dartmouth. And she speaks about difference as the robust energy of community. It's not that difference is the problem. Difference is indeed the gift which allows us to open that door, which allows us to fly together, you know, beyond the limitations of so-called difference. And that turn of understanding diversity as the necessary element of community and unity, I think is on the verge. And indeed, I think ecology and the sciences are, and the balanced systems of environmental life patterns is an affirmation of diversity that comes up in so many levels, from business to ecology and science. And this kind of connection of science, basically, it's science of diversity. Correct me, Steve, if I'm wrong, but maybe that's a word for ecology. The science of diversity and the religion of unity in difference and diversity, I think, are coming together in these conversations. And it's that kind of balance, yet again, that can open the door of compassion. There are just a few more tricks to this challenge, where getting to peace is seen as some faraway goal, where we have to somehow be all the same in agreeing to that before we can get there. And that seems so impossible because we're so different. But if we turn around this value of difference as the robust energy of community, we can understand something like the great pacifist A.J. Muste in the mid-20th century saying, as you've all heard, it's on bumper stickers, there is no way to peace. It sounds like it's impossible. Peace is the way. And indeed, it's that turning around and finding that compassion in the open heart as both the method and the goal that can reverse so many losses in the world. A couple of more quotations and I'll wrap it up here. In that same mode of there is no way to peace, peace is the way, Baha'u'llah, the founder of Baha'i, has a wonderful statement right over here. Let me find it. I'm glad to slow down and let the silence be part of it. One thing he says is, the earth is one country and mankind its citizens. He says the wellness, the well-being of mankind, its peace and security are impossible unless and until its unity is firmly established. That's again that notion that until we're unified, we can't work together to solve the problems. And it turns on the sense that difference is the problem. It makes it become the open door. So I'll finish very briefly with a prayer for unity. And this comes out of classical Arabic. And the terms, may or may not resonate with your discourse, but I loved the earlier musician, he was saying the unknowable essence, and that's a good enough word for God. Oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor, and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of knowledge, and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord. Thank you. I hope we can keep these conversations going.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. David Moore. Everybody give him another round of applause. That was beautiful. He didn't tell me I was supposed to bring tissues for this event, but clearly that one got the waterworks going for me. We have a guest who's been at the Peace Festival before, right, Georgia? Back in the day. And I didn't even know, I hadn't met him personally, but I had heard Dances for Universal Peace. I had seen pictures of them with balloons and banners and people dancing and singing in harmony. So we were lucky, and I was lucky enough to ask a couple Sangha members, who are these people and where could I find them? And they said, well, they're on Facebook. And I friended him, and we got a little dialogue going. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background. Munir Peter Reynolds has led the Dances of Universal Peace since 1995 and has led the dances at numerous retreats, camps, and leader trainings throughout the world. He's executive director of the Dances of Universal Peace International and is a senior mentor and member of the Guidance Council for the dances. He is a sheikh in the Ruhanians? Did I say that right? Ruhanians? International, and he holds an MA in Culture and Creation Spirituality. He's been a guitarist since age 12 and brings passion for music, spiritual mastery, human liberation, and embodiment of the divine presence to his work with the dances. And the great thing is we get to get up and move our bodies, wake ourselves up at this time of the day. And please welcome Munir Peter Reynolds.
Thanks so much, Deb. I want to invite you to come on up and we'll form a circle out here. The dances are not a spectator sport. This is something we create together. They come out of Sufism, which is a spiritual path that honors all the religions, all the traditions of the earth as rays of the one being, the one truth. And David's talk was a perfect setup for this because we're looking at how can we get back in our bodies, how can we get back to our true nature as human beings, or even deeper. And the dances are no way to describe them. You have to do them. So come on out. We don't have a lavalier mic, but you'll be able to hear me. And I've got some other musicians here, so we're in good shape. Come on out. Great to see friends and neighbors. We'll be needing that in a minute. We have a drummer here. So, just for a moment, let's just feel this. You know, human beings have done this for tens of thousands of years. How often do we do it now? How often do we do it now, even in church? This is like primal. We go from, see how that feels. Now take hands. See how that feels. We've become we. Stop. We. What are we? And in the dances, we give up having to make a personal statement. What a relief. You know, we're no longer on the dance floor worried about whether we look good. We're just here together as what we are. And the dances are done to sacred phrases and mantras from the world's religions. So we're singing, we're dancing, we're moving so that that truth can go in a unique way, in a deeper way. So as I said, this comes out of Sufism. I want to say the Sufi invocation, which we often do before a dance. You know it? Say it with me. Toward the one, the perfection, love, harmony, and beauty, the only being, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the Master, the spirit of guidance. And that's like a tincture for unity. It just reminds us we're always in unity, no matter what we think this is. It's one thing happening. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of dances here today. Yeah, let's join up. We'll come in. We'll make more than one circle here now. This is from the Buddhist tradition, and it's from the Heart Sutra. Prajnaparamita Hridaya Sutra of the Buddha. More about that in a minute, but it concludes with Gate Gate. Say that. Gate. Paragate. Paragate. Parasamgate. Parasamgate. Bodhisvaha. Bodhisvaha. Gate Gate. Gate Gate. Paragate. Paragate. Parasamgate. Parasamgate. Bodhisvaha. Bodhisvaha. It means gone, gone beyond, totally gone, absolutely gone. Hail the goer, or welcome to Buddha nature, okay? So we're interested in, the Buddha's talking about going beyond yourself. In David's talk here, it was all about where's the joy that's underneath pleasure and pain, you know? Where's true nature? And the Buddha here is giving the prescription for it. Just go beyond. So it sounds like this. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Let's try that. Get there. So we'll learn some more as we get the movements. So we're all going to be facing clockwise. And we're going to step off on the right foot with our hands to our heart. And it'll look like this. Gate, gate. So let's just do that much, okay? Here we go. Gate, gate. Now turn and face the center. Take hands, and we're going to step back on the right foot. This is super Now, on the Parasamgate, Samgate has the same root as Sangha. It means we are all going there together. Everything's interconnected. We can't get there unless we all go together. So, Parasamgate. Now spin right. Now's the center. And Svaha is like, it's like the bell at the end of the meditation. It's a ding right in the heart where we wake up. Okay? So let's walk through it again. Take hands backing up. Spin right. Great. Any questions? So let's have you folks come in and form an inside circle. Come on in. And the outside circle close around. Okay.
So we're going to have to keep
Looks like we could use a few more on the inside if you want to come in. Yeah. Now it's fine to sing harmony if you want to after we get into it a little bit. So this is from the Heart Sutra, as I mentioned, which is in a lot of ways like the heart of the teaching. The Buddha said, form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. And what is that about in this dance? Well, this is empty of concepts. It's empty of concepts. We bring the concepts to life, including that's you, this is me, this is mine, that's yours. So we need to first understand that that's all made up. The truth is beyond our concepts. But then emptiness is form. What does that mean? Well, one possible explanation, this is all arising within, right? It's arising within. Unless it was witnessed, there'd be no world. So, emptiness is form. So, in this dance, let's go gone beyond all concepts. Odie Spa. Okay? Oh, what an awakening. Here we go, facing left. Backing up. Good right. let it be. Just let it sink in, whatever just happened. And because this is spiritual practice. This was first conceived by Murshid Samuel Lewis, who was a Sufi teacher in the Bay Area in the 1960s. And this was a practice to bring out life out of his students. You know, we want to throw off the cage, as the Vegas said, and get back to something real, feeling it in our body. So let's do a Sufi dance. And Sufism is not a religion exactly. It's an esoteric school, but it sees all the world's religions as a ray of one. Each of them brings a gift. So we're going to be using one of the central phrases, La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha. La ilaha illallah. Illallah. La ilaha means there is nothing, illallah, except Allah, except unity, except wholeness. That's all there is, just wholeness. So it can sound like this. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Try that. La ilaha illallah. 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 So it's a little different at the end. Now let's sing all that. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. From the top. La ilaha illallah. 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 Got the idea there? Okay, so actually, you know, as a practice, it's a negation. There is nothing except this. And you know, let's consider our context, which is infinite in every direction we want to look, right? So if you take hands, our movement with these phrases often goes something like this, stepping back. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. So each time we go back, it's an erasing. We're erasing what we think we know, what we think we are, what any of this is in the consensual reality. We come back, Il Allah. Allah just being a name for the mystery. Allah is actually everything, nothing. Allah, everything, nothing. So it's like yes, no, yes, no. That's what it is, literally. So let's, I think we've got the melody. On the La ilaha illallah, we're going to be side-stepping right. And on the La ilaha, we'll be stepping back. So I'll tell you what to do. We'll also reverse direction. Okay? La ilaha illallah. There is nothing but unity. Here we go. La ilaha illallah. La sings praise choir. So he who prays, sings, and dances, I recommend it to you. Go to dancesuniversitypeace.org and you can find the dance in your area.
Oh man, look at my life. 24, there's so much more. Living on in a paradise that makes me think